It's one of the submarines.
I got smoothies. That's good. So I got like strawberry mango.
And Germany will be happy to see you back. You got family.
Thank you, sir. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
$5.39.
This is the shop of a guy that makes models, small model shop. Interesting.
Taking out, stored and then refueling that. They were waiting for that. Yeah.
This first ship it's all converted into a museum. It's just one of the ships. Let's go down there. This obviously is the engine room of this ship. As you can see, those are very big piston. I don't remember how they call them. And this is the boiler room.
There you go. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
If you would like, we do a spin of the engine.
Oh.
And you'll have to come back out this way when you leave. Okay.
Let me just
Oh, yes, please
take
do.
a look here and then I'll go back.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is this simulated or is it really, is it
it's simulated.
simulated?
I call it Hollywood fire.
Yeah.
All simulation.
That's probably where they put the coal. And then I don't know how they, where the actual boilers are. Probably up there. Yep. They're up there. Those are the boiler tanks. So it's all steam. This is all steam. You can just imagine the heat here. Heat from outside and heat inside at night. Must have been a very uncomfortable place to live in or work in.
And literally, if the three of us were in there at the same time, we couldn't get him in. This is our engine. We'll give
Yeah,
you
it's impressive the size of the pistons.
Oh yeah, 28 inch, 34 inch, 56 inch.
Wow.
As we've stepped through. The idea is that it is a triple expansion engine, so the steam works 3 times. The steam from the boiler in normal operation just goes to the first high pressure cylinder. The exhaust of high pressure is the feed for the intermediate pressure cylinder, and exhaust of intermediate is the feed steam for LP, low pressure. And then at that point, that steam, which started at a 425 and 165 pounds, is down to 188 degrees and minus 6 pounds of pressure. It's actually at a partial vacuum. This one's coming down with well, they're 120 degrees apart. So when you'll see it moving. Basically, this one's moving down, starting to move down. This one is about mid-stroke, and this one is starting to come back up on the opposite stroke. So it's all
Yeah.
You'll see it as we move. Now, the other thing to remember is that it's a ferry boat. It doesn't turn around. That would waste time and be dangerous. So it was built double-ended, so it goes back and forth.
Oh,
To
okay.
go back and forth, it has a propeller and a rudder at each end. That shaft originally went 200 feet to the San Francisco end propeller, and 40 feet that way to the Oakland end propeller.
Okay.
Both propellers turn, one pulls, one pushes, or one pushes and one pulls,
Oh.
depending on which way we're going.
And where was this boat?
San Francisco.
Oh, San Francisco.
Union Iron Works was built in 1898 and ran up there for nearly just short of 60 years. Was retired in 1958.
And it ran from where to where?
Oakland to San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
And if you go to San Francisco, the ferry building at the foot of Market Street that building was built for this specific boat. This was a big breakthrough when she was launched.
Really?
And she was faster by a factor of, she was about 30% faster, and she could do a round trip every hour. So she could, 20 minutes to get across the bay. So, to go back and forth, there's no clutch or transmission. Like I said, it was direct drive.
Yeah.
So what we do is we make the engine run the other way by changing the valve timing. And that's what this gadget does. This is a steam reversing engine. We're running it on compressed air. And when I open the throttle, so you can see that, that 1/3 of a turn, 120 degrees, phase difference between this one. And that also means that you don't have a lockup throttle. So you can't get this in a position where it's confused as to which way to go. That would be a bad thing. The steam yacht Medea, it can do that. And you can get to a position where you're at top dead center, and you have to throw the reversing wheel on it and back it up to go forward again. It gets stuck. And usually the captain's yelling at you in the engine room, anytime you're ready, that's particularly ticklish if they're trying to dock the boat. So this one, because they wanted the maneuverability, but also just for efficiency, it's triple expansion and 3-cylinder. When we get to the far side of the bay, the captain gives the order to stop and reverse. You select the other set of push rods and eccentrics to control the valve. The valves are, the eccentrics are a quarter turn, 90 degrees of ahead or behind the crank that they're controlling. That's because you got to tell the steam where to go before you need it. Now we're only going 6 turns a minute for the demo. That means I can do it with the noisy pump next door. But under steam, this would have been going 22 times faster, 125 RPM, up, up, up. Oil coming off all parts of the engine, 105 degrees in here, 100% humidity.
Yeah.
So that's what she did for nearly 60 years. Finally, by 1958, the boat was getting long, the tube needed overhaul, and just as she had been 3 times as efficient as the paddle wheel boat she replaced, diesels were now being used on ferry boats for sightseeing and long-distance commuting, and diesels are 3 times as efficient as the steam engine for a couple of reasons. This is 425-degree steam coming from the boiler. When it goes bang inside a diesel engine, it's 4,200 degrees Fahrenheit. And this has no ball bearings, no roller bearings. These are all Babbitt metal bearings. A lot of loss in friction.
Yes.
Diesel, okay, so this gives away about 20% of its power as frictional loss. A diesel engine has ball bearings and roller bearings in places you can't even spell. As a result, it only gives away about 5% of its energy as friction. Now that's a big deal because otherwise you couldn't afford to run the diesel. So that's it. A modern diesel engine gets a horsepower hour out of 160 cc's. That's half a teacup of fuel oil. Now, on those great big giant engines, that's one bang of cylinder. But you got an engine that can do 100,000 horsepower. Okay. This is only, well, this is rated 1,400 horsepower. That sounds like a lot, but a diesel engine that did 1,400 horsepower that's only a medium-sized Caterpillar tractor. And yeah, they're big, but they ain't this big. So there you go. So that's why you don't see steam-powered trucks on the freeway.
Yeah. But you still need coal.
You still need, well,
and water.
This was coal for her first 3 years of operation. She was shifted to oil in 1901.
Okay.
And that's because Southern Pacific was west of the Mississippi Railroad. And coal in those days, the turn of the century, came from West Virginia and Pennsylvania. And it galled them to pay another railroad to haul coal out to where they were. And whereas oil was in the ground in California. It was already, and Standard Oil was already doing its thing.
Yeah.
And so oil on the ground in California, cheap. And coal has a problem. Well, it's got lots of problems. But one of the problems coal had as a locomotive fuel is you blow a lot of fly ash. Even if you put grates on it, you can get burning coals out the chimney.
Okay.
That'll start a right-of-way fire. A right-of-way fire can be a fire in Farmer Brown's corn crop. And, oh, he was your customer. Well, he was up until you burned his crop down. Okay. So they were motivated to switch all of their locomotive rolling stock to oil, and so they they put oil burners in and the fuel tanks.
All right.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
1,450 rated horsepower, triple expansion, double acting, steam reversing. That's right. And kids love it because I used to send one of them next door to the fireroom and have to come back. They love it. No batteries.
They're going up the stairs is a little bit more difficult. My knees are not what they used to be.